All right. I think another pretty common question is like the issue of separate property versus marital property. And so it's the, everything gets divided in half is a nice phrase, but it's the, what is everything? So is, my inheritance or our dad gave us, 20 grand as part of the down payment for the house, or, I got that piece of land when my grandpa died. So like, obviously, not like it's not obviously, but you have this gut feeling that shouldn't be divided because it's not ours. It was given to me. And so, one of the things the courts has to do, and so it's good for you to know, is determine what's marital, what do we own, and what's separate, what do I own. And so, it's very, it can bring up a lot of interesting situations. And so I know, ring is a very common one, inheritance. And so the big question is, how do I make sure that, he doesn't get half of my separate property? How do I make sure he doesn't get half of my inheritance, half of the gift from my parents, half of whatever it might be? Mm-hmm. And so, it depends on a lot of things. When did the marriage officially start? When did when did you obtain it? How did you obtain it?
And what did you do with it since obtaining it?
Right.
Has it been commingled?
You didn't commingle it with anything. And then proving it. So it's all, good that probably theoretically should be your separate property, but being able to prove it. So the record, so if it is a gift from your parents, it's very, unhelpful if the check dad wrote to you says like, to John and Jane for your new house. Okay, so that's a gift to both of you now, not a gift to just one of you. And so being able to trace it back to that separate source and proving that it was actually a gift is another, fun little area to make sure you do it.
Yeah, it's much more beneficial for you when you have a will saying, I'm giving this IRA to Annie and Annie only, and Annie keeps the IRA completely separate up until the point of divorce. And is much more helpful in the documents we're looking for when we're trying to show that it's still yours and it's only yours.
And just paper, right? I mean, and so it's one thing to go into court and say what you're thinking, and it's another thing to have it all documented and showing each transaction. So here's the will or the note or whatever that says, hey, I'm giving my daughter this and it's for her, and here's the amount. And then you have a piece of paper showing that amount getting deposited into an account. And then you have a piece of paper showing that it was spent on the thing that it was meant to be, and showing that it's actually yours and you're not just talking about it.
Right.
And so so that's the tracing and the documentation is important. That's something that we can very easily help you with. And even when you're planning to get divorced, or if you have already filed your complaint, then you can kind of reverse engineer it in a very legal, proper way. It's not that you're screwed if you didn't do it the right way to begin with, or if your dad didn't do it the right way to begin with, or your mom or whatever. You can create all that documentation to make sure that your stuff is your stuff.
I think that it's important to have that in mind, how we're going to prove that it is maintained separately, because the legal standard is that everything is presumed marital, and then if we want to show that it's separate property, it's our burden to do so. So putting all that documentation together and making sure that we have all the evidence to show that it has been maintained separately is super important.